that I think it's pretty important to point out to you guys is that in an ecosystem, not only is everything connected together, everything needs everything else, but an ecosystem has to be balanced. And if we think back to my old friend Aldo Leopold, he's really the guy that got me interested in ecosystems. And this essay that he wrote is really what got me really thinking about ecosystem and the balance in ecosystems. So I want you to listen carefully. He uses some big words and some kind of flowery speech, but I think if you listen carefully, you'll understand what he's talking about. This first part, he's talking about the howl of a wolf. A deep chesty bawl echoes from rimrock to rimrock and rolls down the mountain and fades into the far blackness of the night. It is an outburst of wild, defiant sorrow and of contempt for all the adversities of the world. Every living thing, and perhaps many a dead one as well, pays heed to that call. To the deer it is a reminder of the way of all flesh. To the pine a forecast of midnight scuffles and of blood upon the snow. To the coyote a promise of gleanings to come. To the cowman a thread of red ink at the bank. To the hunter a challenge of fang against bullet. Yet behind these obvious and immediate hopes and fears there lies a deeper meaning, known self. Only the mountain has lived long enough to listen objectively to the howl of a wolf. Those unable to decipher the hidden meaning know nevertheless that it is there, for it is felt in all wolf country, and distinguishes that country from all other land. It tingles in the spine of all who hear wolves by night or who scan their tracks by day. Even without sight or sound of wolf, it is implicit in 100 small events. The midnight whinny of a pack horse, the rattle of rolling rocks, the bound of a fleeing deer, the way shadows lie under the spruces. Only the ineducable tyro, that would be a big dummy, can fail to sense the presence or absence of wolves, or the fact that mountains have a secret opinion about them. My own conviction on this score dates from the day I saw a wolf die. We were eating lunch on a high rimrock, at the foot of which a turbulent river elbowed its way. We saw what we thought was a doe fording the torrent, her breast awash in white water. When she climbed the bank towards us and shook out her tail, we realized our error. It was a wolf. A half dozen others, evidently grown pups, sprang from the willows and all joined in a welcoming melee of wagging tails and playful maulings. What was literally a pile of wolves writhed and tumbled in the center of an open flat at the foot of our rimrock. In those days, we had never heard of passing up a chance to kill a wolf. In a second we were pumping lead into the pack, but with more excitement than accuracy. How to aim a steep downhill shot is always confusing. When our rifles were empty, the old wolf was down and a pup was dragging a leg into impassable slide rocks. This is where it gets real important. We reached the old wolf in time to watch a fierce green fire dying in her eyes. I realized then, and have known ever since, that there was something new to me in those eyes, something known only to her and to the mountain. I was young then, and full of trigger itch. I thought that because fewer wolves meant more deer, that no wolves would mean hunter's paradise. But after seeing the green fire die, I sensed that neither the wolf nor the mountain agreed with such a view. Since then I've lived to see state after state exterminate its wolves. I've watched the face of many a newly wolfless mountain and seen the south-facing slopes wrinkle with a maze of new deer trails. I've seen every edible bush and seedling browse first to anemic destitute and then to death. I've seen every edible tree defoliated to the sight of a saddle horn. Such a mountain looks as if someone had given God a new pruning shears and forbidden him all other exercise. In the end, the starved bones of the hoped-for deer herd, dead of its own too much, bleach with the bones of the dead sage or molder under the high-lying junipers. I now suspect that just as a deer herd lives in mortal fear of its wolves, so does a mountain live in mortal fear of its deer, and perhaps with better cause. For while a buck pulled down by wolves can be replaced in 2 or 3 years, a range pulled down by too many deer may fail of replacement in as many decades. So what was he talking about? What was he trying to say?
About deer, wolves wouldn't have any like food or anything.
Right. What happened when all the wolves were gone?
No, but deer became more overpopulated.
The deer became overpopulated. Every edible seedling browsed first to anemic destitute and then to death. In the end, the bones of the hoped-for deer herd, dead of its own too much. So what happened was, without the wolves, what happened to the deer? The deer population went way up. Once the deer population went way up, what happened to all the plants that the deer eat? Yeah, they were all gone. So the reason it made me think of it when we were talking earlier is there are a lot of things like wolves that people think we should get rid of. And one of the things that we should get rid of every year, this time of year, although this year it's not very bad, yeah, we have fire, right? And we should put out every forest fire that we always see, right? The problem is that fire is a natural part of the ecosystem. If we look at this tree over here, with the broken top and the yellow stripes down the side, that tree has been struck by lightning. What does lightning start? Forest fires. Believe it or not, these ponderosa trees, they actually need forest fires. They want forest fires. That's why they grow so tall. They get struck by lightning, the embers fall down into these needles, and these needles catch on fire. Now, as these needles are burning, they go under trees like that juniper over there, and what happens to the branches down low on that juniper?
They die.
They catch on fire and the whole tree burns up, right? Now look what happens when the tree comes to a ponderosa tree. What are the ponderosas missing down low?
Branches.
Branches. No good way for the fire to climb up the ponderosa tree. Even if the bark catches on fire, it just flakes right off. So what happens is the ponderosa trees survive the fires, all the other trees are killed, and then next time it rains, what do the ponderosas get more of? Water.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But the key is that fire keeps the forest thin. All right? Think of it like this. If you have a garden and you plant 5 tomato plants in one hole, are you going to have 5 healthy tomato plants?
No.
No. All right? If you spread those tomato plants out, are you going to have healthier plants?
Yes.
Are you going to get more tomatoes?
Yes.
Well, the same holds true for the forest. If you take these trees and you spread them out, are they all going to get more water?
Yes.
Are they going to be healthier?
Yes.
If they're healthier, are they going to grow more nuts and berries?
Yeah.
If you have more nuts and berries, are you going to have more squirrels and birds?
Yes.
If you have more squirrels and birds, you're going to have more hawks and coyotes?
Yes.
Yes. So not only are things in an ecosystem all connected, but they also have to be balanced. Everything has to be balanced. Okay? Because if it's out of balance, nature will find a way to balance itself, as we were talking about earlier with things like bark beetles and disease, or catastrophic fire. Like in this forest right now, even though it seems like a pretty open forest, this forest is way too overcrowded. There's about twice as many trees as it should. No 2 trees should really be touching each other. Are they touching each other?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So what happens is if one tree catches on fire and it's touching all the other ones, all the trees will burn up. I spent a couple summers fighting forest fires, and once the fire is into the top of the trees like that, there is no stopping it. A bunch of guys standing in yellow shirts with shovels is not gonna do it. So, and the other problem is that fire gets insanely hot, and it kills all the nutrients in the soil. So it takes a super long time for that forest to grow back. So the point here is that there are things that we don't like in an ecosystem, like maybe wolves, fire, snakes, but they all play an important role in keeping that balance.